Good evening, my dear students. Very good evening to all of you. Very good evening to all of you. Yes, good evening every one of you. So how are my favorite students doing? I hope you all are having a very good time. You all are learning so much and you are getting lots and lots of benefits from it. This is Dr. Anisha from Sri Chaitanya Educational Institutions. Welcome you all for another session of Zoology in the NEET Bridge Course 2025 for your exams, which is going to happen in NEET 2027. Yes, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening to every one of you. Now let me tell you one thing, that you all must be enjoying the class as well as you must be studying also. Now we have started topics which are actually there for the process of your exams. Now we have started discussing the actual topics, like we are starting now the animal kingdom. In animal kingdom, all the basis of classification, all the general characters we have already discussed. Now what are we discussing? Now we are discussing about the different phylum. We have discussed the phylum Porifera and today we are going to discuss about the phylum Coelenterata, Tenophora, flatworms as well as the roundworms. Alright? So yes, very good evening, namaste to all of you, and I am so overwhelmed with your love, with your response, that I am so much thankful to you all, to Sri Chaitanya Educational Institution, to give me an opportunity to connect with you all. So let's start studying, let's have fun together, and here it is, the phylum Coelenterata. Alright? Now, the phylum Coelenterata, what is it showing? The phylum Coelenterata, it is showing the organisms which are, for example, different types. Coelenterates, or the another name of this phylum is the phylum Cnidaria. They are also called as Cnidarians. So they are Cnidarians, or we can call the phylum to be Cnidaria. What is this phylum Cnidaria? Alright. So phylum Cnidaria, or called as the phylum Coelenterata, here we are again. What is it all about? Like I have told you, the poriferans, the porifera means they are pore bearing organisms. Similarly, over here we will see the Cnidaria, they are the organisms which are containing a specialized type of cells. That's what gives them the name Cnidaria. Okay. So now the organism Cnidarians, or also known as the coelenterates, what are their habitat as well as different type of characteristics. So students, I hope you remember I have told you a strategy to read the phylum in a sequence. First of all, you need to remember the sequence of all the phylum present in animal kingdom. So these are Porifera, Coelenterata and so on. Similarly, in each of the phylum, maintain a sequence so that you can tabulate or you can see all the characteristics in one go and you do not miss any of its characteristics while reading. So what are these sequences? What are these characteristics? You must know all these characteristics. These are habit, habitat, level of organization, symmetry, body plan, germ layers and coelom. These are the most basic characteristics that you have to know for your exams about a phylum. So first it is the habit. Habit includes the different type of characteristics such as what it feeds on, what its characteristics are, whether it is motile or non-motile, what type of organism, at what time it is active, in the day or in the night. All of these characteristics are called as the characteristics of phylum Cnidaria. Okay. So now we are coming to the habit of the phylum Cnidaria. In case of phylum habit, the habit is these organisms, some of them are motile or some of them are non-motile. Some of the organisms are motile, some of the organisms are non-motile in them. Most of them are carnivorous in nature. Carnivorous in nature mostly. And they have a different type of habitat. What are their habitat? Habitat means the location where they are residing. So the location of the habitat, what will be their habitat? the habitat is, they are all aquatic. Since they are primitive, non-chordate or invertebrate organisms, these organisms, they stay in water. So the porifera is aquatic, coelentrates are also aquatic. So these are aquatic organisms. In aquatic environment, where do they live? Now we have two options. Either they will be living in a fresh water or they will be living in the marine water, sea water. So here the coelentrates are present commonly in both fresh water as well as fish, marine water forms. So aquatic, they are both freshwater forms. Freshwater forms. Can you name any of the freshwater form of the coelentrates? You need to think. I'll give you a hint or I'll give you a name. It is Hydra. If you think of the marine forms, it will be, the marine form will be Jellyfish. Example of marine forms, the jellyfish. Many are there actually. One of them is jellyfish. Alright. So these are the different types of habitat they have. They are motile or non-motile. They are mostly carnivorous. They live in water, so they are called as aquatic. And in aquatic also they are either freshwater forms or the marine water forms. So this, yeah, freshwater and marine water. Okay. Yes, very good, very good. Now we are coming to the part which is called as the level of organization. Level of organization we have already discussed. That means how the body is made, which type of structures the body is made up of. The body in case of poriferans was made up of cells. But in this case, the body has now evolved more. Now they have evolved one step ahead and now cells evolved to become tissues. So they have tissue level of organization. Alright. So they have tissue level of organization now. Body symmetry. What type of body symmetry? I hope these 4 points are very clear to you. How do we read them? We read them as they are either motile or non-motile. They are aquatic, fresh or marine water forms. Level of organization have evolved from the poriferans. Poriferans were cellular, but now they have become tissue level of organization. So they are showing tissue level of organization. Body symmetry. So body symmetry is the method by which we can cut the organism into two equal halves. In porifera we have seen they had no symmetry. Means if we cut the organism into any portion, in any forms, it will not be identical to each half. The two halves will be asymmetrical. So such type of body symmetry is asymmetric. Now body symmetry in this case shows radial symmetry. And I am very sure my all intelligent students, they know the meaning of the radial symmetry. Yes. Radial symmetry. I am very sure you all know the meaning of radial symmetry. Radial symmetry means when the organism can be cut into multiple planes into two equal halves. For example, like a football. You can cut the football into the transverse or the vertical half, or in the horizontal half, or in an angular half, because a football is a sphere. It can be cut into various halves, right? So that is the structure of radial symmetry. Similarly, body symmetry over here is radial symmetry for a football. Okay? So do not consider them they exactly look like a football. No, definitely not. Their body is little bit different, but they can be cut into two equal halves by multiple planes of symmetry. Okay? So that is body symmetry. Now it is body plan. So what is body plan? Yes. So we have seen two types of body plan. One is the blind sac body plan and another is there is tube within tube body plan. See, this also I have told you. There is a trick. So which one will it be? Body plan? The body plan will be based on the openings present. If there is a single opening, blind sac, imagine your purse, a lady's purse, or we can say your bag, your school bag. You have one zip to put all the things inside it and the same zip to take all the things out of it. That is a sac or a blind sac. So there is only one opening for both ingestion and egestion. That is called as blind sac. Similarly, here we have blind sac body plan. In case of blind sac body plan, a single opening that is acting as both mouth and anus. So that is a single opening present. Alright students, I hope you are getting it alright. Okay, so now here we are again to the germ layers. Body plan is over. After body plan it is the germ layers. So now what is this germ layers? What are these germ layers? So now what are these germ layers? These germ layers are various layers by which the organism's body is made up of. Again, we have studied it earlier also. The germ layers can be an outer layer, an inner layer. Most commonly we have seen the body contains the three types of germ layers. The outer ectoderm, inner endoderm, and in between there is the third germ layer, that is mesoderm. Alright? The cells, the zygote, the blastula, the gastrula, they all form these germ layers. But very primitive organisms do not develop the third germ layer, which is mesoderm. So they are diploblastic. Okay, who is the first person to answer diploblastic? Shanmugh. Very good, Shanmugh. Yes, diploblastic organisms. Very good. So these organisms are diploblastic. And coelom. So what about the coelom? Who is going to tell me what about the coelom? Who will be the first one to answer what type of coelom the coelentrates or the cnidarians will have? Who is going to be the first one to answer that? Yes, I am waiting for your answers. Acoelomate. Cherry 18, okay. So the answer is acoelomate. What is the meaning of acoelomate? The meaning of acoelomate means they do not have a proper cavity or empty space present between the ecto and endoderm, which is lined by the mesoderm completely. Okay. So that is called as acoelomate type of body cavity. Very good. Most of you have got it correctly. So acoelomates. So now these organisms are acoelomate because between ecto and endoderm there is no mesoderm present, and for an organism to be called as an acoelomate, there has to be a layer, a third germ layer present between them to completely line the body cavity. That is called as a true coelom. But here, since they do not have the mesoderm itself, they are diploblastic, so they has to be the acoelomate organism. Alright. Now, it is the various general characteristics which you have to study for each and every general characters of a phylum. This is you are going to study for Porifera, for Coelenterata, even for other organisms also. Now we are coming to a special characteristic about the cnidarians. What is that special characteristic? That special characteristic is the cnidocyte cell. Okay. So now there are cells which are called as the cnidoblast, which changes into the cnidocytes. The cell which gives rise to all its characteristic is called as the cnidoblast, which changes into cnidocyte, and this cnidocyte commonly called as stinging cells. They are commonly called as stinging cells. Now the question is, where these stinging cells are present? Where these stinging cells are present exactly? They are present in coelentrates. But imagine a coelentrate's body. Imagine this is a hydra which is a coelentrate. This is a coelentrate's body with its tentacles and the germ disc. So this is the basal disc, the body, the coelentrate's various tentacles present. Now, where will you find these stinging cells? Remember one thing, stinging cells are actually for their defense as well as for catching a prey. It is for their defense. Defense means for their own protection. These cells help them providing protection against some of the enemies, as well as they also helpful in catching a prey. So if they have to be protected themselves from the enemies, if they need to catch a prey, and even sometimes for attaching to a surface, these cells are required. Where should they be? They should be on the outer layers of the body wall. So they should be on the outer surface, that is on the epidermis. So they are present on their epidermis or outer layer of the cell. The body's outermost layer, the epidermis, contains these cells as well as on the surface of tentacles. Alright, remember these two lines or these two words, tentacles, and the outermost body wall has the cells which are called as the stinging cells. Tentacles, epidermis. Now, what is the use of these stinging cells if they are present inside the body or to the inner wall? If the stinging cell is present inner wall or inner layer of the body, it will be of no use because it will not be utilized for catching a prey, it will not be utilized for protecting the body from the enemy or for the surface attachment. So that is why the cnidoblasts are present only on the outer body wall or outer surface of the body as well as to the tentacles. Okay, is that clear to every one of you? I am very sure you have understood it. Okay, so that is the cnidoblast and stinging cells. Now we are coming to the structure of these stinging cells. Stinging cells are a different type of cells present in the ciliatrates. A normal cell modifies into stinging cell. So a stinging cell or a cnidoblast, they also contain the same structure as that of the normal cell. They are just little bit modified. So what is the structure? This is the cell, the cnidoblast or the cnidocyte. Now this cnidocyte cell contains a fluid filled space inside it. Okay, it is the fluid filled space inside the cell. This fluid filled sac, this is a sac which is filled with a toxic fluid. This toxic fluid filled sac is called as cnidocyst. Fluid filled space is called as the cyst. So this is a fluid or a toxin filled space which is called as the cnidocyst. Okay. So now this cnidocyst is present inside the cell and the cell will have all its structures like mitochondria, various other cellular organelles as well as a thread like structure to hold this cnidocyst into its place. Alright. There are some supporting fibers present to hold the cyst into its place. And the cnidocyst is a fluid filled space or a fluid filled sac inside one cell. Imagine a cell which contains a toxin filled sac inside it. That is this cnidocyst. Now this cnidocyst, which is a toxin filled sac, contains a very crucial thing. What is this crucial thing? The crucial thing is that it contains a structure like this. It contains its structure like this. Now what is this structure? This is called as a thread tube. This is a thread tube. Alright. This structure is called as a thread tube. Okay. This structure is the thread tube. Now this thread tube contains one very sharp needle at its end, just like an injection. You have seen the injection. Most of you have got it very recently also due to various reasons. So now this is the injection, just a sharp needle-like structure. Okay. It is this sharp needle-like structure at the end of this tube. So it is a coiled tube ending in a sharp needle-like structure that is present inside this cnidocyst. So cnidocyst contains toxin called hypnotoxin. Alright. So my dear students, remember the toxin which is present in the cnidocyst is the hypnotoxin. It can cause severe pain in the enemy's body or while catching the prey to the organism's body. Okay. So this is a very dangerous and a very painful toxin called as the hypnotoxin, which can actually paralyze small organism itself. Even for human body also, if this hypnotoxin is injected by some of the coelentrates in human body, for example, sometimes it is seen that the organisms are present near the seashore, and any human being who is walking or present in the water, they are actually getting bitten or getting stung by this hypnotoxin of the jellyfish. They can cause severe allergic reaction, painful reactions will be seen, and sometimes they have to take him or take that person to an emergency room of a hospital. Yes, it is that severe or that potential a toxin. So that toxin is hypnotoxin, which can actually paralyze and kill a small organism and can affect severely to a larger organism even like humans. So these hypnotoxins are present in this sac-like structure. Inside this sac-like structure, these hypnotoxins are present, and the hypnotoxin is injected using this thread tube in the form of a needle. Through the needle, they just inject the hypnotoxin to a human body or any animal's body. So this is the most important characteristic. They here contains a structure called as nidocele, which is just like a trigger and acts as active center of the nidocytes. So what happens whenever anything that touches the nidocele is the trigger, you can say. Just like a gun, if you press the trigger, only then the bullet will come out. Similarly, in the cell of the nidocyte, if any organism or anything touches the nidocele, only then the fluid filled thread tube with the needle injection will come out, inject the hypnotoxin to an enemy's body, and will cause paralysis or death or an attack to the body. So that is the most important characteristic called as the nidocytes in case of coelentrates. Now these coelentrate organisms, they contain these cells on the epidermis and tentacles of their body surface. For what are the functions? Their main function is, yes, 3 functions. These nidoblasts, they help in for defense mechanism, for defense, that is for their own protection, for catching a prey, for attacking a prey, for catching a prey or attacking a prey, as well as for surface attachment. Surface attachment. So these are the reasons why these organisms are called as nidarians or coelentrates. Alright. So these are very, very important characteristics of the phylum coelentrates. Now moving on to the part in which we will learn about what are the examples of nidaria. See, the coelentrates are a lot in number. Many coelentrates are present in the animal world. Now the organisms which we are going to study or which will be useful for us, you need to remember their names, both scientific as well as the common names. Now what are the first name that comes to your mind? That is Hydra. So Hydra is known as Hydra. Let it be Hydra anything, let it be anywhere. It can be Hydra vulgaris or any other species. Hydra both commonly known as the Hydra. Other than that, the common name jellyfish, scientifically known as Aurelia. Similarly, the scientific name also known as Portuguese man of war. Portuguese man of war known as Physalia. Similarly, the phylum contains another organism which is known as sea fur, which is known as Obelia. Now, very funny names or very interesting names you can say: sea fur, sea pen and sea fan. All these are nidarians. In exam, they ask these names very commonly and very commonly they ask this question. Very frequently these questions are asked. Sea fur is Obelia, sea pen is known as Penatula, and sea fan known as Gorgonia. Some of the corals you may have heard, they all belong to the phylum Coelentrates. Corals, they form a hard rocky surface on the various oceans. Last time also we have discussed about the corals. Corals like, which examples of corals we know? Coral example is brain coral, which is scientifically known as Meandrina. Red coral is also there, Corallium. So few of these corals are present. Corals form coral reefs. How these coral reefs are formed? Very hard calcium salts are released or excreted out of the coelentrate's body, which deposit over a time period, years after years, or maybe we can say centuries after centuries. They will be depositing one layer after the another, forming a very hard rocky surface near a seashore. So such type of island-like structures, which are not exactly island, they are made up of the calcium deposits of these organisms over a period of time, maybe centuries, maybe even thousands of years. These corals are formed. So one such important coral reefs you all must have heard of is Australia's Great Barrier Coral Reef. Okay, so Great Barrier Coral Reef in Australia is there. Even in India there is Lakshadweep, which is another coral reef. These are all coral reefs formed by the various type of secretions from the organism's body, which are coelentrates. Alright, so here we have studied the Coelenterata. Let's move on to the next phylum, which is phylum Tenophora. Now what is this phylum Tenophores? The phylum Tenophores, you all know, we have seen them in our first introductory classes of the animal kingdom. We have seen the examples of the Tenophores. They look quite different. How do they look like? What are their appearances? They appear like this, sometimes even called as the sea walnut. Sometimes even they are called as sea gooseberries. Gooseberry is another type of fruit. So they have different names, but they are commonly also called as Tenophores or comb jellies. Tenophora, or commonly called as the comb jellies. Alright, so they are commonly also called as comb jellies. Now what are these organisms? See here we have these structures. So these are the structures. Why am I drawing these lines? These lines represent the most unique characteristic of this phylum. Now what is the most unique characteristic of this phylum? The most unique characteristic of this phylum is comb plate. Comb plate. We are going to discuss about the comb plate in detail, but first of all, let's see how these are arranged. See here, comb-like structures. This is the comb-like structure, just like the comb we use for collecting our hairs. So that is the comb-like structure. Comb-like structure, small structure, arrange themselves in lines, in sequences, and like that total 8 comb plates are present in these organisms. How many comb plates? 8 longitudinal, like this, comb plates are present in their body. And that is the reason why they are called as comb jellies. Okay, so they are called as comb jellies because they have 8 longitudinal rows of comb plates. Alright everyone, I hope you all are understanding and memorizing as well as reading them in so detail that it is going straight to your brain and heart. Remember, comb jellies, total 8 longitudinal plates of comb jellies are there in these organisms. That is why they are called as the comb plates. Okay, so now these are the comb plates present, like this, comb plates are present. So these are the 8 rows. I have not made 8 rows over here. We can see only 3 strips, but like that 8 are present. Now moving on to the most important general characteristics of the phylum of the Tenophora. Now the Tenophora they have important characteristics like the habitat. What is their habit? These organisms, they are motile. Some of them are motile and some of them can be non-motile also. Motile as well as non-motile forms are also present, and these organisms, they show transparent body. They show transparent body structure. That is why they are called as jellies. You remember the jellyfish we just studied in the coelenterate? The jellyfish, see here the appearance of jellyfish. In this case, this is the appearance of the jellyfish. The jellyfish, almost when you see in the water, is almost transparent because the inner tissue present between ecto and endoderm, that inner tissue is so thick and so jelly-like that it is almost transparent to the presence of the eyes inside the water. So inside the water they appear almost transparent. Now in this comb jellies, what is happening? The similar type of jelly-like transparent middle tissue is present. This middle tissue is also called as mesogilia. The mesogilia tissue which is present between ecto and endoderm is transparent, jelly-like. That is why they are called as comb jellies. Okay, so they are called as comb jellies because of their transparent, thick mesogilia present between ecto and endoderm. Okay, now we are moving on to the habitat. Where do they live? The habitat of these organisms are, where do they live? The habitat of these organisms are, they are all aquatic. Fine, they are aquatic because they are primitive organisms. Now these aquatic organisms also, they are exclusively found in sea water or oceanic water only. There are no members living in the fresh water. Okay, so they are all marine, exclusively marine in nature, exclusively. Whenever in this animal kingdom we are using this terminology exclusively, that means it is nowhere else present. It is nowhere else present, not in the land, not on the trees, not in the air, not anywhere else, not even in the fresh water. They are present exclusively in the marine water or in the oceanic water. Clear? I am very sure you all are reading it properly. So these are all oceanic water. Third, it is the level of organization. Now it is the level of organization. What is the level of organization here? Again, how these bodies are made. The bodies are made up of cells, tissues, and here again, like the coelentrates, they are also made up of tissue level of organization. They also have tissue level of organization. Cells arranged in different groups of clusters called as the tissues, and these tissues are forming the whole body. That is called as tissue level of organization. Body symmetry. What will be the body symmetry here? The body symmetry means, again, how can we divide it? The organism, see here, almost like a football. Just we have given the example. Last time we took the example of football. We can cut the football into any half, two halves through any plane of symmetry. Similarly, here also see the structure. We can definitely cut it into various halves. So now how many symmetry or plane of symmetry it can produce? Multiple, more than one. So they are also called as radial symmetry. In case of radial symmetry also they show a different pattern, different than the coelentrates, but at least for the time being we will read it as radial symmetry. To simplify things, yes, Tenophores, they also show radial symmetry. The diagram is showing that. The body plan. What type of body plan they have? What type of structures the body is organizing into? The body plan is, so cell aggregate plan is there in poriferans. In case of the Tenophores, or we can say the coelentrates, we have seen the tissue level of body plan. And here in this case, again, tissue level of body plan is present. Alright, so the body plan is tissue level body plan. So what will be the tissue level body plan? Blind sac body plan. blind sac body plan. There is only single opening here for both ingestion and egestion. This is called as the oral end, and this side is the aboral end. Oral end and aboral end. There is no anus present. There is no other opening present. Only a single opening for both ingestion and egestion. So that is called as the tissue level or blind sac body plan. The germ layers. What will be the germ layers? The germ layers, how many germ layers will be there? Again, just like the coelentrates, because it has lot of similarity with this coelentrata. So germ layers will again be diploblastic in nature. So these organisms are diploblastic, made up of two germ layers which are ecto and endoderm. Alright, so they are diploblastic, made up of two germ layers, ectoderm and endoderm. And now coming to the last part, that is the coelom. Which type of body cavity they have? The coelom or the body cavity they have the which type of coelom? See here again, diploblastic, third germ layer is absent. Whenever you see that third germ layer, that is the mesoderm, is absent, blindly go for the process called as acoelomate body cavity. Because to form a coelom, we need mesoderm definitely. Without mesoderm, there will not be a covering around the space between ecto and endoderm, and there is no formation of body cavity. So absence of third germ layer, definitely an acoelomate body cavity. If you do not remember how it is done or how it is decided, go to my previous videos also where I have explained it, how we can call an organism to be coelomate or acoelomate. What all characteristics is needed to call a structure coelom, it is described in that. So go through that video once again and you can refer this after that. So here it is the acoelomate body cavity. So here we have seen that is the Tenophora, which are commonly called as the comb jellies with its various characteristics. Is that clear to every one of you? I am very sure you all have understood what is Tenophora. Now we are going to the extremely crucial and most important characteristic of the phylum Tenophora again. But before that, the general characteristics is this, and I hope you all have understood it. Give me a thumbs up to everyone who has understood it, the characteristics of the coelentrata as well as Tenophora. Give me a thumbs up everyone, I need your support. So show me that you are listening and you are here for me. Alright? Can I see the, yes, very good, thanks all of you, yes. Such a nice motivation you are giving me, thanks to all my favorite students. I hope you are getting benefits from it, okay? Okay, thank you everyone. So let's move on to this, the part of the comb plates. Now what are these comb plates? Thank you so much for your support. So the comb plates, here we are again. See the structure here. If we see the structure like this of a ctenophore, these are the tentacles of the ctenophore. Alright. So the body appears like the walnut, or we can say like a gooseberry, and in different shapes also, in different other shapes also, these organisms are seen. So now here we have the comb plates with the tentacles. The tentacles, either it will be 2 in number or it will be absent. The tentacles will not be 8-10 tentacles like the hydra. Like the hydra, it is not 8 to 10 tentacles. It is a pair of tentacles present in these organisms. And they have the special type of arrangements, these special arrangements. How many I have told you? Yes, I heard it right. I know you have said it in your mind, in your mouth, where you are listening to this. So this is total 8 longitudinal rows of comb plates. You all remember it, and I am very sure about it. You all know it now. Why they are called as comb jellies? Because they have 8 vertical rows of comb plates. Now, how do they appear? These comb plates exactly like the comb. See here, exactly like the teeth of a comb, the structure appears. That is why the name comb plates are given. Now, here again, what are the function of the comb plates? What are the function of comb plates? The function is very simple. The comb plates function is for locomotion. These comb plates, these teeth of each of these combs, they actually help in moving around. So they contain the structures which help in locomotion. They help in their movement. Locomotion is movement from one place to another. So that is the primary function, movement in one place to another. Alright, so they are the comb plates. The most important characteristic feature of all the ctenophores, which are also called as comb jellies, because they contain 8 vertical rows of comb plates. Alright everyone, so now we are coming to another very important characteristic of these organisms, which are called as bioluminescence. I hope you remember what is bioluminescence. Bioluminescence. Now imagine you are out in the dark, or you have gone somewhere in the dark where forest or the trees are present nearby. Near the trees you must have seen glowworms or the fireflies. These glowworms or the fireflies, they sparkle at night like the stars. They sparkle like, or they twinkle like the stars all around you. These are glowworms or the fireflies. Now how do they emit energy? How do they emit this light? The light is nothing but the light energy which has been converted from various of the chemicals. From the chemicals, they obtain this energy and emit it in the form of light energy, which we see them as glowing in the dark, called as the phenomenon of bioluminescence. Bioluminescence is the property in which the organism will glow in the dark. So these organisms, they also utilize their chemical energy in the form of food and many other sources. These energy will then be converted into light energy using various enzymes of this organism. And now this light will be emitted like the twinkling of the stars. These are aquatic organisms. So you can imagine in the sea water, you can see glowing of these organisms or glowing bioluminescent ctenophores all around you. So yes, these organisms are seen in various oceanic water where they glow like the beautiful fireflies in the water. So these are bioluminescence, that is, they glow in the dark. We in general term call it as glow in the dark, but they are exactly the light emitting organisms which are present in the water. So these are the characteristics of the phylum Ctenophores. Now what are the examples? Not much or not much difficult examples are here. What are these examples? These are not very difficult, very easy to remember. What are these examples? The Tenophora example is Tenoplena and Pleurobrachia. Tenoplena and Pleurobrachia. They are commonly known as sea walnut or sea gooseberries. Commonly called as comb jellies. Okay, so here it is about the ctenophores. And I am very sure you have understood what all we have studied about the coelenterate and Tenophora today. If I ask you, tell me an example of phylum Coelenterata which is a freshwater form, what will be your answer? Give me this answer right now. Give me the answer in your chat box. I want the answer right now. Freshwater form of a Coelenterata. I am waiting for your answers. What will be the example of freshwater coelentrates? Yes, before commencing the class, before ending the class today? I want this answer over here. Let's see how many of you remember. Okay, Khalil has already answered Hydra. Okay, very good, very good. I'm so proud of you all. Very good. Every one of you are giving me the correct answer. Yes, that's the motivation I need, and that's the talent, that's the we can say the brain you should be having right now. Yes, you are in the right track. You are focused, you are studying. I have understood it. And be like this always. Stay focused to your studies and stay goal oriented always. Do not distract, do not get distracted, do not panic, and do not get involved in any other things mentally or physically. Alright? So stay focused, study well, eat well, as well as have a healthy time. Thank you all of you. Thanks to every one of you. Stay healthy.